What is going on, beautiful people? I am Lee Hammock, the diagnosed self-aware narcissist known as mental illness, and welcome to another episode of A Narcissist Explains. In today's episode, we're going to be talking about how most narcissistic, toxic parents do not apologize to their children, even if they are dead wrong. Stay tuned for more. Like and subscribe. Thank you. If a narcissistic parent makes a mistake, they will rarely, if ever, apologize to their children. And of course, if you're there, I'm a narcissist. Actually, I have narcissistic personality disorder. Even if your toxic narcissistic parent is wrong, they will refuse to apologize because their pride and ego take over. So like, even if you prove your narcissistic parent wrong in the nicest way possible, in the most respectful way possible, they still won't apologize. Well, you made me do this. Well, you made me get out of character. Well, you made me yell at you. It will still be your fault in some way, shape, or form. And because a lot of narcissistic parents can be super aggressive towards you, even if they are wrong, this could condition their children to not speak up and correct their parents, even if the parent is 100,000% wrong. And yes, I know 100,000% is not a real number. I understand that. But this happens all the time in toxic households where you will never be right when you're dealing with a narcissistic parent. And even if you are right, you're wrong. Sub to the YouTube mental illness. Welcome back, y'all. Yeah, toxic narcissistic parents rarely, if ever, apologize to their children, which is a big problem, y'all. It's a huge problem in relationships, dynamics, and whatnot. So if you don't already, check out the self-love journal on Amazon, Lee Hammock, I Love Me, a self-love journal to help you rebuild that self-love and identity after a toxic relationship dynamic. But yeah, y'all. So if you've grown up in a toxic household and one of your parents or both of your parents or your caretaker was a toxic person, possibly a narcissistic person, you know that they rarely ever apologize to you. You'll get a toxic parent that rages out on you because they think that you've done something wrong, right? They think that they're right about it. So they're raging out on you. They're yelling and screaming at you. They might even put their hands on you. They might whip you or something like that. And then once they find out that you were right and they were wrong, the shame kicks in and they will refuse to apologize. They will still blame you for their reaction or what they did. Well, I wouldn't have had to yell at you if the truth would have came out earlier. So it's not my fault. You should have told me the truth. You should have told me what the truth was. You should have said this. You should have said that. You should have did this. You should have did that. You get a lot of toxic narcissistic parents who do that, y'all. They refuse to apologize because just like in intimate relationships, pride and ego are the king or the queen in a narcissistic person's life. Pride and ego rule the world in these situations right here. And it happens so much in these dynamics and whatnot. It just does. It's just one of those things, y'all, that keeps happening consistently. It keeps happening consistently over and over again. Like, if you grew up in a toxic household, you probably didn't get apologized to because your parent was a toxic person. You know what I mean? And that creates these deficits in adulthood, in relationships. Like, if you grew up in a toxic household, you might end up in a toxic relationship and you don't expect your toxic partner to apologize. They never apologize to you because your parents didn't apologize to you either. You know what I mean? That's why, me as a diagnosed narcissist, I go forward and make a concerted effort to apologize to my children whenever I do something wrong because, I'm not always right. As a parent, I'm not always right. As a, caretaker, I'm not always right. And things like that. It just happens consistently, y'all. But when you get into these spaces where you have a toxic parent and you grow up in that household, they condition you to not even speak your mind. You know what I mean? They condition you to not even bring things up, because even if you get scared to talk to your parent, because even if your parent is wrong, they're not going to admit it and it's going to cause a problem anyway. Even if even if your parent is wrong and they reacted out of character, they reacted negatively towards you, they did something horrible to you, even if they did that, they won't admit that they were wrong. And that sucks to grow up in. That sucks to experience. And that conditions you as an adult to accept this in intimate relationships. To accept, you condition you not to speak your mind. It conditions you not to have boundaries. It conditions you not to have a voice in your own relationship when you grow up because you didn't have a voice within your household. You know what I mean? It could be a toxic mom. It could be a toxic dad in these situations. If you were raised by your grandparents, it could be a toxic grandparent, adopted parents, Foster parents, it could be whatever the toxic you have. If you had a toxic caretaker that refused to apologize when they were wrong, or if you refuse to admit that they were wrong, and like I said, you're gonna get rage either way. It's kind of like when you grow up in a situation where you're damned if you do and you're damned if you don't. As a child, you see what I'm saying? As a child, you're damned if you do and you're damned if you don't, and that sucks right there, y'all. That's a very unique space dynamic to be in when you're growing up and whatnot. It's just one of those things. It's just one of those things, one of those situations. So that's a very unique space to be in. So like I said, I hate that fact, y'all, because that's one of the things. I'm gonna get very vulnerable with y'all right here, y'all. That's one of my biggest regrets at being a parent. And my kids, man, it does suck that, being who I was for a long time with my kids and just, not wanting to have that negative effect on them. And so it never apologizing, even when I was wrong. You know what I mean? But now, if I think I'm wrong, I apologize. If I raise my voice, I apologize. Like I don't want to over apologize because I don't want to overcorrect, because sometimes overcorrecting can be just as bad as not correct. Sometimes overcorrecting can be just as bad as, not handling the issue. But just me personally, that's one of my biggest regrets. So I'm trying to teach my kids that you can't be better. Like I say, because they've all experienced the worst version of me. Except my little girl, my daughter's probably, she gets the best version of me, and she is she's a little terror, y'all. I love her, but she's a little terror. She's just like me. She's not a narcissist, but she just does too much. But yeah. So if you were raised in a toxic household and you feel some type of shame when you were talking to your kids, when you're trying to be a parent, don't be afraid to apologize to your kids, y'all. Because if you grew up in a toxic household, you don't have to be afraid. Like, you grew up in a toxic household, you are so accustomed to your parents not apologizing to you that you might feel like you don't need to apologize to your kids, or you might feel uncomfortable doing it. So you need to take the steps and the necessary steps to apologize to your children. You don't want to raise toxic children with insecurities. Don't do that right there. You see what I'm saying? Put it into that space. Put it into that mindset. Put it into that dynamic. Do it like that. Handle yourself. Handle your situation and whatnot. Because like I said, your kids deserve it. Your kids need it. You know what I mean? Just being unique, y'all. Like I said, because like I grew up, my mom, she worked second shift, so we was kind of, but my dad never apologized for anything he did, So I just feel like none of the stuff that they did, even if they were wrong, my cousins, my aunts, never apologized, and it just like sucks when your adult figures don't apologize. You feel like it conditions you to feel like you don't need to apologize. Like, my mom didn't apologize. Why do I need to? You know what I mean? So if you have a toxic, narcissistic parent, don't expect an apology from them, y'all, because this typically is not how it works. Okay. Anyways, y'all, I'm in my car. I'm out here in Charlotte, North Carolina. I'm out here in my car. I have to hop out of here now. Thank y'all for tuning into another episode. Of course, if you haven't already, like and subscribe for more. Mental Illness is out. Peace. What is going on, beautiful people? Thank you so much for making it to the end of my video, watching it all the way through, y'all. If you haven't already, go ahead and hit that subscribe button, y'all. Turn on notifications so you don't miss a video and whatnot, and so we can help reach more people. Like I said in the beginning, the self-love brand is available. I have a self-love journal that's available on Amazon as well to help you rebuild that self-love. Lee Hammock, I Love Me, on Amazon and whatnot. I also do one-on-ones over Zoom and such as well, y'all. Like and subscribe for more. Mental Illness is out. Peace.